Welcome to our second edition of Conversations with the City. Hey, this is a video piece that we're talking with different people in the community, city employees, business officials, but today we have Kyle McMurrian. He is the city's fire marshal. We're going to talk a little bit about Fire Prevention Month. So let's get started today. Kyle, why don't you tell us a little bit about what a fire marshal's job is for the city? Not everybody knows what a fire marshal does and kind of how that process works within a city. So tell us a little bit about what your job is like. What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
So daily, a lot of people don't understand, I do all life safety inspections throughout the city. Every business, we try to go once a year. I come up here and do plans review with the community development department. And I also organize the fire department's pub ed program, fire prevention week, smoke detectors, things along that nature. So, and I'm also a newly CLEAT certified peace officer. A lot of people don't understand that, but
yeah, the fire marshals in Oklahoma, at least, and in many other states, not only have the chance to work on the fire side, but they're somewhat dual commissioned. They get a chance to be both a police officer and a firefighter at the same time.
Yeah.
And so congratulations, by the way, on making it through the CLEAT Academy, finishing that up. I know there's not very many fire marshals in the state that are able to do both. And so we're very proud of you and the work that you've done and what you've been able to accomplish so far here in the city.
Thank you.
But what is Fire Prevention Week? And why is it in October? That sounds like kind of an odd time to do Fire Prevention Week.
So Fire Prevention Week is the NFPA's week. We always celebrate it on the week of October 9th. It's the anniversary of the Great Chicago Fire. It killed over 250 people, left over 100,000 homeless. Big fire. So since 1922, the NFPA has recognized Fire Prevention Week. We go out, fire departments across the country go out, teach adults and mostly the school-age children, the dangers of fire. This year's theme is Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape. It really highlights the importance of knowing an escape plan and knowing your two ways out of your home.
So not only is it important here to know what's happening in our homes and in the NFPA, the National Fire Prevention Association, and what they do, encouraging people to understand how to be safe in their home and how to get out. But this is nationally, this is a big deal across the country. It's not just here in Tulsa, the Glenpool area, as far as what's happening. But why is it so important that people understand fire prevention? What makes that important to the citizens?
The most important part is we're trying to reduce casualties, damage. A lot of times, fires are caused by kids, and they don't understand. They find that set of matches or the lighter, so we go out and teach at the schools, but the big goal is for them to go home and, look, Mom, Dad, look at this coloring book, or I saw the fireman, and allow the parents to talking about the importance of what's laying around at the house or the escape plan. Bring it home and let the parents really teach their kids more in depth.
Right. It's an opportunity for us to start a conversation sometimes that wouldn't happen or doesn't happen sometimes within the home. It's a great thing. So over the winter months, we think about fire a lot of times as a summer piece. We hear the grass fires and we hear about all these things happening in Oklahoma, but there's a different set of pieces in the winter, right? The different set of causes that happen. So what is the leading cause of fire in the fall and winter months? And then, what do we do, or how can we help prevent that?
So our biggest two causes of fire year-round, and they just happen to go with winter, fall, when it's cold. Cooking is the big one, and heating. So with cooking, a lot of people, we got to make sure we stay with what we're cooking. Right. Stovetops clear of anything that's flammable. If you got some in the oven, come back and check on it regularly, because usually it's when that stuff gets left unattended, that's when the accident happens.
Right. And
then when it comes to heating sources, those big bad space heaters, want to make sure they're at least 3 foot from anything flammable. Want to make sure our furnaces and our chimneys, we get used a lot in the winter, chimneys get dirty. Let's have those inspected, cleaned, make sure they're in tip-top shape right as we're coming into fall before you start using them regularly.
Right.
help prevent the statistical fire.
Yeah, it's seems like common sense things for the most part, but it's stuff that doesn't always happen. So it's
Yeah.
great reminders. Keep those space heaters 3 feet away from flammable substances. I was just talking to a family member this weekend. They put some grease on to go start frying some potatoes, and then walked off and forgot it, and come back and the house is just full of smoke. Thankfully no fire there, just smoking grease. But it is easy to do in today's world. To forget, you get a call on your cell phone, a text message, you got to go chase down a kid for something, and it's easy to forget that you've got those things. So very, very important. Stay with, when you're cooking, stay there in the kitchen as best as you can and be a part, monitor that. What else can they do to prepare? Our citizens, our residents there, what else can they do to prepare for fall and winter? We talked briefly about inspections for the chimney, fireplaces and heaters. What does that look like? And are there other things that they may need to be looking at?
So on top of the furnaces, the chimneys, outside the home, leaves are going to fall. Mm-hmm. Tidy up tall grass, leaves, get it all away from the house. Just helps prevent one more accident waiting to happen.
Right.
Just clean up a little bit and have those heating elements inspected, cleaned, whatever you want to call it.
That's right. So just like we do a little bit of spring cleaning when we're getting ready, there's a place for outdoor fall cleaning as well in our yards. Great. So what are some fire safety tips in general that we recommend all the time for residents?
So we definitely want to teach the kids, don't play with matches, don't play with lighters, the stop, drop, and roll. It's a big thing we push for everywhere from little bitties in daycare, 4th, 5th grade. We want them to understand the dangers of fire, what it can do to you or where you live, where you're at. So that's the big thing, is just, make sure the kids understand how dangerous it really is.
Right. So, beyond some of the general tips that we've talked about, some of those specific things about cleaning yards, watching the kitchen as we begin to cook, doing inspections on your furnace or your fireplace if you have a chimney area, just what other things do we want people to know about maybe fire service in general here in Glenpool, or fire safety types of pieces?
So, I'd just say this year the biggest thing with Fire Prevention Week coming up, we're going to be out in the schools, a couple of different daycares, talking to the kids. I know when my kids come home, they're excited about it. They're like, Mom, I saw the fireman today, or check out this coloring book. Take that opportunity to talk to them about, like I said before, your house, what's going on in your home, what they can expect to deal with, because that's where the accident's going to happen. It's not going to be at school. It's not going to be, when you're out at Walmart. It's going to be at home, asleep, or if they come across those matches or lighters. So the biggest thing we say is just, talk to your kids. Use it as a once-a-year refresher for yourself and to teach your kids, because really that's where they're going to learn it.
Right. So it's important. Have those conversations. That's the biggest thing for us. Have those conversations, parents, with your students, with your kids. Make sure they know not only the safety to not to play with the matches and just the dangers of fire in general, but how to get out of the home. That's one of the big pieces. That's part of this, the Fire Prevention Week. One of the themes this year is those, how to get out of the home safely when it happens. So thank you, Kyle, for coming today.
Thanks for having me
with us. Glenpool, we hope you take a moment. When your kids come home, and even if they don't have a chance to get with all of our firefighters through this process, and they're not coming home talking about it, make sure you take the time, go have a conversation, make sure they know the importance of fire safety, fire prevention, and most importantly, they know how to get out of the house if there is a fire. And we will see you next month for another edition of Conversations with the City.